Russia wants such a ministry to fix its falling birth rate. It has an aging population, low birth rates and rising mortality. So the Kremlin wants people to have more babies and have them fast.
Hey people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How you all doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So the government and the Western world, they are shaking in their pants on child-free women. The fact that the birth rate is declining globally around the world is getting this government bodies shaking, and they are coming for child-free women, ladies. They are coming for us, okay? So if you guys haven't heard, the Russia government has put a ban on a child-free content in any way, advertisements, social media, anyway, anything that encourage women not to have children is out. Those content are not welcome in Russia anymore. And this is to curb women. And this is going rapidly, even in Japan. They're putting things in place to tell women that if you know you're not going to have children, then they are going to take out your productive system off because you don't want to have children, you want to be useless. They're telling women if you don't get married before a certain age, and this has really, like, the conversation about this, like, it really gets me. So there's a news outlet that actually broke down what's really going on in Russia and even some part of Japan, and how the birth rate has declined drastically and has gotten a lot of government bodies worried because now they can see that women were important. Okay, so anyway guys, we're going to check it out. This video is going to be in kind of bits and pieces because after the breakdown of it, we're going to hear one of my favorite creators on TikTok, Cecilia Regina, give our own thoughts on it and why she thinks this is. So we're going to check it out and then we'll come back and talk. But before we get into the video, a lot of you guys have been complimenting my hair, and thank you guys so much. And some of you guys are asking where this hair is from. This video is not sponsored. I bought this hair with my money, but I'm going to give you guys the plug because you guys love it, and it is an affordable hair. But one thing I want to tell you guys is that it is a synthetic hair, so don't expect it to be a human hair. And I did a crochet with it, so maybe I'll have to do a video to show you guys how it was. It's a crochet hair, so yeah, really easy to do. I got it from a brand called Black Hair. They are in the US and also in Nigeria, so you can check them out. And also the name of the hair, I'm going to put it on the screen so that you can check it on their website and get it. But yeah, that's where I got the hair from, and it's synthetic, guys. I'm saying it, I know it looks like it's moving and all that, but it is synthetic hair. So if you're the type that don't like synthetic, no. And I really wish that this hair was human hair because I really love the way he looks on me, and you guys are loving it. Anyway guys, let's go get into the video and then we'll come back and talk more.
By 2050, over 3/4 of countries won't have high enough fertility rates to keep their population size growing over time. The global fertility, or to keep it stable over time, the global fertility rate has decreased from 4.84 live births per women in 1950 to 2.2 in 2021, and is expected to drop to 1.5 by 2100. And the last one I'll read is Japan's population was 124.3 million, down 595,000 people from 2022, and the falling rate equals out to almost 100 people an hour are being lost from their population. Wow. Countries are taking drastic measures to get their birth rates back up. South Korea, for example, is considering giving families about £60,000 in cash for each newborn baby that they have. So yeah, there's a societal, social impact, economic impact on the declining birth rates. And I've heard you say previously that you think it's one of the biggest evolutionary challenges we're facing.
I think we're going through an evolutionary bottleneck. So we're going through a period where, it's partly the pill, people, it's one of those issues that sort of attracts just so stories. People will often be quite confident about, oh, it's this, you know, oh, it's feminism, oh, it's capitalism, whatever. I think that the single factor that actually best explains why you're seeing such massive drops in fertility across not just Europe and America, but Northeast Asia, as you were saying, and also actually lots of, like, the Middle East has quite low birth rates. Indian subcontinent has quite low birth rates. basically the only place in the world that still has high birth rates is sub-Saharan Africa. So this is basically a global phenomenon.
Like, just hold on, there's still more to the video which we're going to get into, but that is, what do you think like is the reason why the birth rate has really dropped drastically everywhere in the world apart from Africa? I have my own theory and I'm going to let you guys know, but I can see how the entire world is literally scared now that women are very intentional about having kids or not having kids. The next video we're going to see the Russian government taking order in place to make sure that their women give birth, and even some about Japan. It's just a very nice comprehensive breakdown of what some government bodies are doing to get women to have children, because you know what, they need people. Let's go check out that and then we'll come back.
Ministry of Sex. You heard that right. Russia wants such a ministry to fix its falling birth rate. It has an aging population, low birth rates and rising mortality. So the Kremlin wants people to have more babies and have them fast. And they floated some brilliant ideas to make it happen. A new ministry is only the beginning. They want couples to turn off the internet and lights by 10 p.m. and get to work. They want to pay a pension to mothers who stay at home and not go to office. They want to cover hotel expenses for your wedding night and pay bills for your first date. Now, first dates are scary enough without the government involved, but Russia wants to do all of this and more because President Vladimir Putin has high expectations. He wants women to have 8 children or more. That's going to take some work from couples and apparently the Kremlin, which has passed a new bill this week banning child-free lifestyles. It outlaws any form of so-called propaganda which promotes the refusal to have children. This includes material on the internet, in media outlets, in movies, in advertisements. Basically anything that promotes a lifestyle without children is banned. Violators will be subjected to fines, about $4,000 for individuals and $50,000 for legal entities. Now, if you know Russia even a little bit, you know that they're acting out. Much like with human beings, when countries act out, it is usually out of fear. And Russia is very scared. Over the past decade, they have seen a continuous demographic decline. Russia is home to some 145 million people. That's smaller than their population in 1991, when the USSR broke up, when the Soviet Union collapsed. And this year, it is expected to shrink further by 500,000. This poses a threat to the country's economy and social fabric, so the Kremlin is throwing money and bizarre sexual ideas at the problem. It also reflects broader demographic trends the world over. Our planet is slowly but surely walking towards a baby bust, a global population crash. Fertility rate, or the number of births per woman, is falling across most countries. In 2017, the global fertility rate stood at 2.5. By 2021, it was down to 2.3, and now it is 2.1. What is the ideal rate? 2.2. So we are below the ideal rate. 2.2 is also called the replacement rate, the rate of births per woman, which keeps the population stable. The world average is lower than that. So the number of births is falling. What are countries doing about it? They've already curbed women's rights in more ways than one. They have failed to ensure the safety of women. They have judged and controlled women's bodies. They have certainly not made it easy to have or raise children. And now they're cajoling women like they are children so that they can have more children. This is what most countries do. They first try to bribe women, like South Korea did. It has the lowest fertility rate in the world at 0.72. Since the year 2006, South Korea has spent more than $270 billion. Last year, Japan pledged $74 billion and Taiwan has spent more than $3 billion. Most of this money is for payments or tax benefits to new mothers. But the cold hard cash has not delivered. So governments try step 2, sweet talk. Singapore, for instance, has among the lowest fertility rates in the world. This is the year of the dragon. So during the Lunar New Year, they urge people to add, and I'm quoting, little dragons to their family. In other words, have children and have them this year. That was the message. It is a crass message coated in honey. But often even that doesn't work. Then leaders resort to what they do best. They call women names, like villainizing what they call childless cat ladies in the US, or making strange demands, like in Japan, where they want women who don't have children to remove their uterus at 30. Meanwhile, France wants compulsory fertility testing for women aged 25. Bizarre is a small word to describe what is happening here. This borders on dystopian. Governments are so used to having a say over women's bodies, they don't want to accept that in certain things, nature plays a role. And do you know the worst part? None of these tactics work. Decades of research proves this. People will not have children because you push them to. They will not have more children if you entice them with payment or fertility tests or bans on so-called child-free propaganda, and certainly not with public shaming. So what should governments do? Well, create conducive environments, implement policies that help mothers, provide better housing, generous maternity leave, cheaper childcare and more jobs so people can build the lives they want while also having children. About time governments get their act together, do their research and stop acting like nosy neighbors pushing women to have children.
Okay, she's calling the government out. Let me know down in the comment section what you think the government can do to get women to have kids. What do you think it will entail that will make you, if you're a child-free woman or that's you like your child, you said you're not having kids, what do you think the government will do that will make you consider to rethink having kids? Love to know your own take. Like, I have so much to say about this because clearly the fear tactics, the compensation to risk our body to have children is not working, and I see this cutting across a whole lot more country, and I feel like the number did not dip because of Africa. People in Africa are still giving birth to children every other day. That's why the numbers, or else I feel like the rest part of the world nobody's having kids apart from Africa at this point. Anyway, guys, I want us to hear Cecilia Regina's own take on it. You guys know I love her take. You guys know how much I love her take. So let's get your own take on it because she kind of broke some things, and some of the things she said was fire as always. So let's go check out what she has to say about this, and then I'll come back and talk. But I want to know what you think.
Women aren't just having a hard time in the U.S. Russia just voted to punish women and men who promote being child-free. And in Japan, the founder of the Conservative Party calls for a ban to keep women from marrying after 25 and another to sterilize women who are over the age of 30. Why would you sterilize women if you want the birth rate to increase? It's about restoring the universal culture of male supremacy, because this isn't about the birth rate per se. They don't just want more children coming into the world. They want more children specifically as a means to control women. And you don't get that when an older, educated woman has a child. This is why the crux of his plan is that women should not be permitted to attend university from the age of 18. He says it so they can focus on producing babies, but it's so that they don't have any other options. Women have had more access to education for the past few decades, and since that time, they have been consistently outstripping men, especially in the last 20 or so years. People say, oh, globally, fertility is falling. The truth is, fertility is falling fastest in developed nations, the ones where women are educated, because nobody in their right mind is going to take the deal that's being offered. No educated woman is going to bring child after child into a financially precarious situation. But you know who will? Uneducated women who don't have options. And this is what our country, the U.S., is trying to do. They want women marrying younger. This is why they refuse to ban child marriage, and they're creating more and more exceptions that allow people to practice it. And while arguing a greater swath of children should have access to marriage, they're at the same time saying you don't have the right or the capacity to control your body. States that once upon a time said teens could get abortions without parental interference now are repealing that. After claiming for decades that they wanted to fight teen pregnancy, states where his stunk to almost nil are now suing. Yes, suing, hoping to make birth control illegal because teenagers and young women are practicing it too effectively for their liking. It's a myth that older educated women do not have children. They merely have them later in life. But the children that they have are well educated because they've had opportunities. They've been born to mothers who were able to properly care for them and set them on a path to a future. No matter what these countries say, that's not what they want. That's not how you get the next generation of worker bees. That's not how you produce people who are too poor to do anything to fight against corruption, who are too busy to do anything but survive, who'll take any job. You breed those from poor, uneducated young women with no options. I want you to see how the rhetoric is all the same in all the countries. This is Russia. When they banned child-free content a few days ago, what they said was they want to protect traditional family values. But that's not really the issue, because women are telling them, we want to have children, but we can't afford it. Now, Russia does offer some financial incentives, but they only kick in after you've had a certain number of children. And if you can't afford to have one child, how can you have multiples hoping to one day get a financial break? Women in every country are pretty much screaming the same thing. There is a population of women that want to have children, but they say childcare is ridiculously expensive. There's a gender imbalance expected when it comes to care. In Japan and South Korea, they're saying the same thing. Women are expected to care for their own children, their husband's family, the elders of the community, while working outside the home and doing everything else. And they say it's just not fair. It's an unfair balance. Women in the US have been talking about the second shift for over 50 years. You have to hear what the opposition is really saying. Traditional family values is you go back to doing everything. You don't have a voice. You're just a cog in the wheel. The truth is, every developed country in the world is experiencing the same phenomenon. This isn't about children or restoring the population, though they do care about that. Though the history differs from country to country, most women have gained greater access to participation in, education, economics, politics, etc. over the last 50 years. It's no coincidence that that's when you see the huge steep drop off in birth rate in developed countries. Men do not like children. They seek them as weapons of control to keep women down. Heretofore, women have not participated that much in the public sphere because they were saddled with children. Remember, just speaking to the US, it was perfectly legal to fire women when they got married and had children for many jobs. And the number of jobs women could actually participate in and hold was already very few to start with. And now that those things no longer present an artificial barrier, they're looking for a new way to keep you down. But I also think the backlash in gender when the men announce these things out loud is a good thing. The outcry was so loud in Japan against this man, he backed down and apologized nearly immediately. We can't be too casual. We have to be aware of the ideas that are being inserted into the public sphere because they do influence our lives, and we can't take it for granted because they shouted him down this time. It will always be the case. But it is good to know what they're thinking. And sometimes the greatest thing the opposition can do for you is to ban your idea. Because people are contrary. People who had never thought about or cared about child-free content will go try to look it up now before the law goes into effect. They'll want to hear about it because the government told you not to look at it. They will talk more than ever about it amongst themselves. People are naturally curious. The easiest way to make something seem more attractive than ever is to tell somebody they can't have it. And people are angry in addition to being confused. After decades of our governments trying to put the blame on us, saying, well, don't have children if you can't afford them, we say, okay. We accede to their wishes, and now they're trying to force people who've already said they can't afford children into having them, while at the same time taking away any kind of aid that could help you keep your child here on Earth. It's clear they're trying to create a permanent underclass. But even that is not going to work out the way people think. Remember during the pandemic, states like Texas thought it was their time to shine and debut an essential ban against abortion. They said any unnecessary medical procedures distracted the essential workers. It was Texas, Florida, several other states. Almost immediately afterwards, abortions in Texas resumed by order of the governor. Why? Because he discovered it was economically unfeasible to force women to give birth. The ban was in place. Everything was going along, but those women needed more care than ever. It was a huge strain on the state. They can cut the entitlements, but they are going to see the results. Crime is going to surge. The healthcare system is going to be overwhelmed, especially in Texas, where doctors are leaving by the truckload and where they've had to shut down so many centers for care because you are not allowed to operate without doctors who are fully trained in obstetrics, and that includes abortion. So you're not producing new doctors. The old doctors are leaving, and the doctors you have are too afraid to do their job for fear of legal retribution. Yeah, this is going to work out fantastic. But these people are going to keep right on until they get what they've been looking for. The actual economist, the people with some intelligence have been trying to explain to them over and over why this isn't what they want, but let them have it. They're going to have to see for themselves. But in the meantime, don't you get caught in the crossfire. I cannot recommend abstinence and celibacy more strongly than I am. It's great to have birth control and whatnot, but this is 100% effective. And if you're worried about men infringing on your bodily autonomy, make sure you carry. That's it. Like and follow for more.
Okay, sis. Okay, sis. Please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know your own take down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. You're on this channel. We're allowed to disagree, but we'll do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, share your thoughts. Okay. This is an amazing conversation, and which I'm going to tell you guys a story about my mom lately. Like, I feel like when it comes to having kids, first of all, let me answer the question of why do we think Africans are the only ones that the birth rate is still high compared to the other part, like mostly the Western world and developed countries, why their birth rate is dropping. And in Africa, it just seems like people are still giving birth to children. So let me tell you, I live in Nigeria. If you don't know, I live in Nigeria and I've lived in Nigeria all my life. Is that one of the reasons I feel like my girl Cecilia pointed out, education. A lot of women are not educated, and that it has brought to the place of where there's control. Yes, I know. No, Nigerians are educated. I'm not. See, you people calm down. No, because I know some people say that. Why will you say African women are not? See, we have educated African women, but a majority part of Africa, most women are not educated. Nigerian women are very educated. Don't play. Nigerian women are very educated because I'm from Nigeria. I know that. But also in the entire state, even in Nigeria, yeah, we see most times the people that give birth to so many children are the uneducated ones. Those are the ones that give birth to so many children. You see, the educated ones will probably give birth to 1, 2, max 3, which is still a lot. And also another reason why I feel like in Africa, there's still like people still care about the how people see them and how people see their family. So a lot of people, a lot of women are being emotionally blackmailed, or they just want to look like the good wife, the good woman by doing what society expects them to do, which is to procreate. A lot of women in I'll speak for Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria. A lot of women in Nigeria cannot stand against their family to say no, this is what I do, or this is what I want, or put their foot down. Most times they will just go with the flow because that's what society expect them. Oh, okay, a Nigerian woman that is married now saying that, oh, I don't want kids. Huh? You want to leave your husband's house. The marriage don't tire you. So even though she doesn't want kids, because her husband people are expecting her to, her husband is expecting her to, even her own parents too is expecting her to, she will just cave in because so much pressure is coming from everywhere. And the truth is that nobody is standing up for her, and she's not even standing up for herself. So that because of how people are going to look the family name, a lot of women that even think about it that cannot verbalize it out, they cannot say it out. They would rather just do it rather than go through all the stress explaining yourself to people and all that. All people start giving you names, calling you barren. It's a thing of a shame and to be called barren, or you can bear children. That's if the woman maybe decides to go do it on a low and so that nobody finds out that she's trying not to get pregnant. People are going to call her names and she cannot stand it. It's a thing of a shame. So I feel like that is the stigma that comes from not having children has pushed a lot of women in the continent, I'll speak for Nigeria, in Africa, to give birth to children because women are being shamed for not having children. So that's one part. And then another thing is that, another thing I feel like it also contributed to that is that we all know as women, is now we're talking to ourselves, is now we're giving each other game, is now we're talking. Here in Africa, there's a lot of this. Let me speak for Nigeria. Okay, I'm speaking in the rest of because I live in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria. There's this hush. A lot of women, when they have conversation, they lie a lot. They keep a lot of things secrets. They don't talk to each other, and because they don't talk to each other, they don't give each other a game. So a lot of them, some people, some women, some young girls get into the ideology of what society expects them, like have kids. They go ahead, get pregnant, have the kids, and then they find out like, oh my god, this is not what I want to do, this is crazy. Because a lot of time they don't tell them the expectation. They usually just make it, you know, the way they usually make having kids like something very glamorous and all that. That is that they paint them the picture, they sell them that dream in their head, and they fall for it. And by the time they fall for it, they can't take it back. The child is here and they just have to. You get it? So I feel like those are some of the reasons. Then to talk about some of the things that could make that the government, because I can see like the government, they are actually scared. And like I get where my girl Cecilia was coming from, talking about how this is a form of control for women because they want women to be able to for them to be able to control it. I totally agree with that too, because now that we're talking, we have time, we're conversation, we have time to do things, work, earn more money. They don't like it, and now they know they don't have the next generation that is going to do labor for them, and they don't like it. The fact that we as women were building communities like this, having conversations like this about being child free, about the benefit that comes from choosing yourself, centering yourself, putting yourself first, being the main character of your life, living your best life, is a threat to the entire community in the world. Like I'm telling you, is a threat. And like I was talking about the way the system is set up here in Nigeria, where women have to give birth because of society standard and expectation and public shaming. Like it's crazy how when I tell people that my mom is on the journey with me, like my mom's 100% supports me going child free. Coming from an African mom, it's unheard of. And it was me sitting her down and letting her know why I'm not doing this, why I'm not going to have kids and all that. An amazing thing that she supports me. She's like, I understand what you're saying. I have 6 children myself, which you helped to raise. Understand what you're saying, and I get it. And it has got to the point where now she's the one even preaching the gospel. I remember she was telling me about one of her friend's daughter that does not have kids, and she was like, she told her to come watch my YouTube channel because there's more to life than giving birth. And I know there are a lot of women that are out there that want to have kids, that are inspired to be a mom. Like more grace to your elbow. But what we're preaching here, we're not telling people don't have kids, have kids. We're not. We're telling people to be very, very intentional. And the fact that the Russian government is trying to curb content that advocate or that push out, that have the conversation of going child free, that just tells you people how powerful media is, whether being social media, media in general, how powerful it is. And as women, I want us to continue talking to each other. I want us to continue supporting each other. I want us to continue giving each other game so that we know, because the truth is that the patriotic system don't want, like now they're looking like, are you kidding me? So women are now, they are getting their bag up, they are taking care of themselves, they are living their best life. In fact, some of them are even choosing not to even get married, not to even deal with men, and they will try everything. The way the government is being said, the way governments are going to start pushing things across, and then for it to get to Nigeria, to Africa, it will take some time, like the low birth rate, it will take some time. But people were having the conversation. People are having the honest conversation, because that is the thing that has kept women in the dark for the longest time. We did not have honest conversation, and now that we're very open, we have easy means of communication, and we have easy means of building community. We're clocking game, and I'm super super excited for this, about this for us. And yeah, like I always tell people, anybody that say, like I was having a conversation earlier today about child free with another beautiful woman. We were just talking, and I was like, oh, we're just talking, and she was like, I don't know why I said something. And the way I am so proud of being child free, like I have the conversation, even though in my society it's something that is being frowned about, it's something that is being shamed. Like I don't care. Like you like call me barren, call me whatever. I don't care. You get it? And the truth is that the people in my life, they know exactly where I stand, and they don't have any choice but to support, because you're not going to bend my hand to do it. But the truth is that governments are going to put things in place. People in the Western world, that the low birth rate has kicked in and women are choosing themselves. Women are saying that childcare is expensive, because that's also another thing. Childcare is very expensive. The cost of living is very expensive worldwide. So what, it doesn't even make sense, even for people that really want to have kids. It doesn't even make sense for them, because they can barely feed themselves, they can barely get by, then for them to bring another human being into. So the government is going to try different tactics, fear tactics, money and all that. But ladies, do you always put yourself first, love yourself, okay? Always be very intentional how you move, what you choose to do with your life, because you are the main character of your life, okay? Anyway, guys, please go on and share your thought down in the comment section. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We are banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button because it helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this girl. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.